Hi guys, Violet here again on the Life Treasures Parenting Help channel to talk about your happiness factor. Philosophy studies, discusses, and examines why we exist. And pretty much the consensus is to be happy, to live happy. Live Happy is the last chapter in Life Treasures, and we'll be discussing it later. But I'm talking about it now because it's really important to have it top of mind. Because keeping your happiness factor in mind every day and having an awareness of how important it is and striving for it is fundamental and basic to happy parenting. So here's the what, why, and how of your happiness factor. So what is your happiness factor? Basically, it's just a gauge. It's happiness awareness. Where are you on the scale of happy? Or just being alert and mindful and aware that it exists. And it's important because where you're at will affect your child directly. So, what are the components, ingredients of your happiness factor? And what makes you happy? Do you feel happy? What does happy feel like to you? What does it smell like, taste like, sound like? Identify it and look for things that make you happy and what brings a smile to your face. Because, well, for me, I'm a sucker for cuteness and kids and pets. I love peace and quiet and nature, the sky, clouds, sunsets, spending time with my friends, attention from my son. And I did this exercise with you because I can feel the chemistry in my body changing just by thinking of all those things that make me happy. So make it a priority to find what those ticklers are, what those triggers are that's going to make your body start, feeling, good and joyful. And that's a huge factor in being successful in your happy parenting adventure, because whatever you're aware of, you're going to shine your attention on. So think happy. Pay attention to it, because it's these little things that are going to contribute grandly to your happiness factor. We lead way too busy lives, and sometimes the simple and basic things that do contribute to our happiness is often overlooked just because we get into rote routines like robots, right? So what does happy look like to your kids? Do you know? Do your kids know you're happy and what makes you happy? Do you talk about it? Tell them why you're happy. It might sound kind of corny, but say, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy because you're my baby. You're so precious. You're so smart. You're so this. You're so that. And go overboard, because this is the person that it most matters to. So they'll have a consciousness that it's important to pay attention and take the time to talk about happy. Your happiness factor is a powerful indicator and will influence the result of your child's happiness factor. And of course, there's going to be times and other factors that will contribute to your child's happiness as they grow up and make independent choices. But the responsibility of your happy parenting adventure is simply to give them the awareness of factors that will influence their lives in a positive and happy way. So happiness in the context of this chat is not a giddy, funny, haha kind of happy. Although that's really important too, because it brings a smile to our face. Happiness in today's context is that happiness is a choice to live with optimism, positivity, and acceptance that bleep will happen from time to time. And when it does, how do we keep our chin up and keep going? How do we address it? How do we deal with it? How do we manage it? So happy parenting is a balance of the sum of the living parts in your world. And what does that mean? The living parts being you, mommy, daddy, the kids, your family, your collective. It's really important for each living part of your family to know that happiness is their individual and personal responsibility, and it's a choice. It's an attitude that we adopt. I think it's really good practice for your family to establish this, because We are the ones that choose to be miserable or happy. And to teach your kids and have your whole family understand this from the beginning is going to help you immensely. Happiness is a choice, and being miserable is a choice. And if each family member understands this, you're creating an amazing baseline, and it'll minimize the drama because they'll know they have control and they're responsible for their mood and how they're feeling. And it might help the blame game and other mind games that we humans, are so good at playing sometimes. So again, attitude adjustment. This is an example. Yeah, if you have to do something you don't like cleaning your room, just teach your kids that the upside down is you'll have a clean room and the privilege is for keeping your room clean. If you have kids that don't like to eat this or that, just teach them that the upside down is, it'll keep your body healthy and it'll contribute to your nutrition, and you can have your favorite something later on. And it's also important to let your kids know that happiness isn't devoid of sad or unhappy. Explain that unfortunate things that happen periodically doesn't make for an unhappy life. And let them know that optimism and not sulking for too long is a big help in getting us through the hard and difficult times. And that happiness is ultimately a mindset that we choose. So drilling this into our belief system will impact our lives tremendously. And what a gift you're giving your child if you impart this awareness in their consciousness. This becomes true empowerment because it keeps us from falling into the victim mindset and we have no control. We will know that we have the ability, control, the tools, and mindset to make a change towards optimism, positivity, and ultimately happy. So now, why is it important? Why it's important is because it's going to directly influence your child, and it's directly going to help the success of your happy parenting adventure. So from the very beginning, live and demonstrate a happy mindset for your child so that they can see and experience it firsthand. When we fall into difficult times, it's probably the best time to model how to see and live the upside of down. Use this time to think aloud and let them hear you walk yourself out of the doldrums and the neggies towards optimism and positivity. Let them see that process. Think aloud. It's important because your happiness factor directly influences that of your child's. And what I mean is, your happiness directly affects the way you teach because words don't teach, your actions do. So let's examine your happiness factor because where you're at is important in achieving your purpose, in this case, happy parenting. So I found this statistic in The Happiness Advantage written by Sean Achor. And he shows that 25% of job success can be predicted by your IQ. 75% of your job success can be predicted by your happiness advantage, your happiness factor. What is that? Your level of optimism, the social support you have from your family and friends, how you deal with stress, instead of it being a threat, you deal with it as a challenge. And these are all an attitude and a mindset that contributes to your happiness factor. So many of us think that success precedes happiness, but in reality, happiness precedes success. So happiness comes before success. So it's super important to be aware of this. Happiness and positivity turns on the learning centers, the learning receptors in your brain. So every level of performance is improved and contributes to your happiness factor. As I've shared some links below that I'd like you to check out if you have the time because it's so uplifting and it'll hopefully take you to other links that will reinforce your commitment to living toward a positive outlook on life and living happy. And finally, so how do we maintain this? How do we do this? And it's again so simple because you can find this stuff online, and there's reams of information out there. But to maintain your happiness factor, just by doing simple, commonsensical things that make you feel good each day, like gratitude. The attitude of gratitude is huge. I can't say enough about this. And I think it was Meister Eckhart who said, if thank you is the only prayer that you say, it will have been enough. So take the time to think of 3 gratitudes each day. You can pick a number, but do it every day. Journaling. Journalize your happy thoughts, what made you feel good today, and jot it down. Exercise or do some form of physical exertion, physical activity. Go outside, feel the wind on your face, and feel the sun warming your body, and meditate. Meditation is proven to it has been proven to reduce stress, and it actually grows your prefrontal cortex, that executive thinking part of your brain. So even if it's 5 minutes, start with 5 minutes and work up to 15 or 20 minutes a day, and it'll make a huge difference in your happiness factor. A random act of kindness. It'll make you feel good. Do something special, or not even, it doesn't even have to be special, just something thoughtful, and it'll make you feel good. And here's the biggie. If you haven't already, identify your passion and purpose. Even if you do nothing about it now, identify it and know it, because the relevance of really knowing this can be the defining difference, because whether your passion and purpose is personal or professional, having it is proven to be one of the keys to happiness. And again, having something in your consciousness and awareness will bring it to life because you've created energy toward it. And a little bit more about your mindset. The unhappy mindset will keep you stuck. So once this mindset infiltrates your head and it's there, it just sticks in there, and it's so difficult to get out of it. So remember that, if you can move away from that unhappy mindset and move towards, how do you do that? You're prepared ahead of time, and you have the happy mindset, the list of what makes your heart sing. You're prepared, and move towards that. Think about that and give that more energy. And it's said that fundamentally most humans are wired to see the world negatively. So we have to work to see the upside of down. We need to make that extra effort to see, reflect, and share the upside. So let's be the ones on the upside of the happiness track, okay? Let's not poo-poo the topic and conversation of happy, because it's a vital factor in teaching your child how to live happy. Talk about it, be in it, experience it, wallow in it, and just, bathe in it. So remember to be mindful of being positive and optimistic every day, and what makes you feel good. And here's Zig Ziglar's quote on motivation that I always think about, but in the context of happy. Listen to this quote. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. So, for what your happiness factor will contribute to your life, it's supremely important to give it your attention each day. So, hang around with people who uplift you. Of course, you're going to have neggy people in your life because we have them around. We love them and we spend time with them. But just remember to guard your associations. Budget your time for the Debbie Downers or the negative Nancys. No offense to the Debbies and the Nancys, but that's a common phrase, right? Guard who you spend your time with, what you spend your time thinking and talking about, and what you watch and listen to. So limit your time with those people who live with a dark cloud over their heads, complaining, judging, criticizing the world around them. And don't get sucked into that narrative or that kind of discussion with them. And just keep in mind, though, that if the discussion is to solve or move toward a solution, by all means, spend the time, help them. But if it looks and sounds like a gripe fest, move on. Okay, so let's let's retrain our minds to see the glass half full if we see it half empty, because your happiness factor is going to directly benefit and affect your child. Okay? And most importantly, it'll make a huge difference in the effectiveness and success of your happy parenting adventure. Again, I want to stress and mention this again. Your happiness factor is so important because it'll make a huge difference in the success of your happiness adventure. There's a direct correlation. I hope this information was helpful, and if you need more help on specifics or if you have questions, please email me or comment below. And pretty please share me with your friends and family, subscribe and click the like button. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Till next time, happy parenting. Bye-bye.